Welcome to the Tryon Palace for the holiday season. It's a very exciting time here because we're decorating the palace grounds and several other buildings, actually 8 buildings to be exact. There are beautiful decorations around which would be impossible without the entire team that we have working here. For example, we have a trades group that has helped drape banners throughout. We have garden staff that has helped implement and create a lot of these, and countless hours put in by volunteers, and I think that goes into thousands of hours of time creating all these arrangements. So I'm going to take you inside now and show you some things inside the palace. Here we are inside the palace foyer. It's the first impact that the visitor sees of the candlelight decorations inside the palace. And I think nothing signifies the theme of our wreaths that will carry throughout in this room. We've highlighted them in these niches with these fresh boxwood wreaths, and in order to preserve them to last longer, we sprayed them with canned shellac. And the spray shellac ended up preserve the wreaths from disintegrating and holding their color. And then after that, we pre-made these arrangements, which are quite striking, with the pheasant feathers that are dyed red. We have the peacock feathers, which are stunning. We have boxwood tucked in here, juniper, blueberry juniper, gorgeous Osage oranges, pomegranates, and pears. We also gilded some eucalyptus to tuck in for some luminosity. And so this piece then gets arranged right on top of the wreath. And I think it makes a really striking arrangement. Hi, we're here inside the Tryon Palace drawing room. I'd love to share with you what we have done with the decorations. We've had a theme this year of this beautiful peacock blue fabric, which was inspired by the peacock feathers that Mrs. Tryon would have had access to in the period of the place. And we've tried to use as many preserved fruits in our arrangement. For example, the piece up on top is a very traditional stacked arrangement with pomegranates, apples of different colors, and pineapples, which were a welcome sign. The fabric just shows the richness of things that were accessible to the governor and his wife, and the trade. This little piece here is really beautiful. We gilded iris pods and of course tucked in lemons and boxwoods and yarrow and apples to create this cluster with magnolia leaves. Something really beautiful that any homeowner can replicate inside their house. This year we have so many exciting design ideas for visitors to come in and take these ideas home using a lot of natural materials. For example, this gigantic wreath, which you see the theme of the wreaths throughout the palace from the minute you enter the foyer throughout each space, continues as a continuity. This wreath is particularly beautiful because it was using fresh magnolia leaves that were pressed, spray painted, and then attached to a hay ring. To keep it in place, we wrapped it in saran wrap and let it dry, and then we released it after 2 days, and this is our finished product, which I think is beautiful. It's recyclable material and easily replenishable, so there's not a lot of waste of product, and I just think the outcome is really, really stunning. We've used tallow berries, which would have been available in the time period, as well as pomegranates, dried yarrow from the garden. So I think that makes a very simple but very striking visual for anybody's home or palace. So in the dining room, the theme of the wreaths continues, and so does the theme of the fabric. The use of fabric is a very simple way to adorn one's homes in a very inexpensive manner. For example, in these wreaths, we have used actually storm drainage drains and created the form that we needed, wrapped it with fabric, which was a crushed silk taffeta that is polyester, so it's very inexpensive, and tucked it in with preserved fruits and pheasant feathers, which would have been commonly available at that time, and dyed and used in arrangements. So you can get a very stunning look in a very inexpensive manner. So in the staircase, again, we've tried to make a really striking impact by creating this topiary form that adorns the newel posts. It's made out of traditional boxwood and holly berries tucked in, with tallow berries and apples stacked, and the top is adorned with the peacock feathers and the peacock tail feathers, which are beautiful in color. Also in there are some natural lotus pods that have been gilded gold. The base of the topiary has natural preserved seeded eucalyptus. And a nice surprise element that Mrs. Tryon would have had access to is possibly a preserved peacock. So we have adorned one of the corners of the staircase in that. The fabric, again, makes a very striking impact. Traditionally, they would have had access to fabrics from China as well as India. So I think it's a nice way to bring that little piece in. Thank you for joining us for this holiday season. Please come see it for yourself. It's beautiful. You can take home great ideas and recreate some of these pieces of history for yourself, creating special memories for your family. Of course, you can come here for candlelight, and we are also open for regular tours throughout the week.